parked up on the edge of the wonderfully named Baxtondale Moor, and I'm strolling over. It's a bit of a walk. It's even more wonderfully named Andrew's Knob. I kid you not. I was up here at the weekend, and the views down from here back over my town Bollington, with the sort of wintry skies and the sun dropping, was so magical. I thought I'd come and have a crack getting it down on board with a little bit of oil paint. Let's go. Now, you may have noticed that by and large I like painting in kind of bright, bold colours, and that means timing my outings for when the sun's out on crisp, beautiful days to get all that delightful spectrum of colour. And today isn't like that. In fact, it's quite the opposite. There's actually a little squall passing through, which is not what I was planning for. So I think I need to just hunker down, get the waterproofs on, keep the camera dry. I'm trying out my little foam mat that a nice lady on YouTube suggested, and it is keeping my bottom very toasty, so thank you very much. So I'm going to have a go at something new today, which is, rather than wait for a cracking day to get out and paint, I'm going to see if I can actually capture some of the atmosphere of this pretty grey and chilly day. Because what I noticed with the really leaden skies, when the low winter sun gets below that, you do get this amazing contrast that really lights up the horizon with a kind of band of gold. Oh, you need a bloody PhD to get those things up. So part of what has given me the confidence today to come and have a crack at this is I've been looking at an artist, a Welsh artist called Kyffin Williams. This was motivated by a nice comment I had from someone on YouTube who drew some parallels, and I thought it was worth having another look at Kyffin Williams. And a lot of his work I don't really like. He uses a very sombre, kind of moody palette, which doesn't really float my boat. But on the other hand, it is sort of perfect for somewhere like this. You know, the Peak District is probably a lot like Wales in terms of weather. It's hilly and it's wet and it's kind of green and grey. But yeah, Kyffin Williams is a master of that. What he's also a master at is managing low light. He can create the most extraordinary glows of hills with skies behind them. And looking at those pictures made me just want to get up here and have a crack at that, because it's magisterial what he can achieve with quite simple tones. is exactly what I was hoping for. You kind of can't see it behind me, but that's the joy of this, is that it's really hard to photograph this low light because you're shooting straight into the sun, and the ground is really dark and the sky is really bright. But that's sort of what I want to try and capture today, and I'm a bit out of my depth, but I'm going to give it a go. And I'll show you. I don't know if you can see this. I've sort of almost even tried to like write down some of the information which is in front of me, because it's so hard to kind of keep it in my mind. So we'll see how we go. I think what Kyffin Williams does really well, and it lends itself to the very graphic quality of his work, is he's very clear about his values in terms of the spectrum between black and white. He's almost picking 4 or 5 stops along that spectrum between really quite dark, which he's not afraid to use, and pretty light. He's kind of careful with white, and he picks sort of 5 increments. The whole picture is just painted in those 5 stops, and I'm going to try and do that now, because I think that's, at the very least, it's like really good discipline. So I'm going to crack on. I feel like I've got into a bit of a pickle here, because I got my picture, I did the drawing and got all my colours ready sort of when the sun was tucked in the clouds, and I've got everything ready, and now the sun's out and I'm like looking straight into dazzling sun, and it's like, oh well, this is not really what I was planning here. So I'm now having a bit of a quandary as to whether to wait for the clouds to come over again, or have another go, like just kind of rejig. I don't know, I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see. Right, I'm going for it. I'm going to completely rejig, which means I've got a paint on a board I've now drawn a different picture on in Sharpie. So there's not much I can do about that, but I'm just going to mix the colours I want and slap it on there and see if I can create something. Let's go. I've gone really radical here. High jeopardy here, folks, because I'm having to pivot to a completely different plan, and I'm just going with it, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm spreading a lot of paint about. Oh, I'm living the dream. What I'm finding really taxing today is it's just really complicated reading colour and value when you're looking straight into the sun. Because I know that hill is dark green, but with the sun behind it, it's a kind of furry grey colour, and I'm having quite a job getting that. And I'm trying to kind of picture, like, how does Kyffin Williams make those very bright skies when with that kind of glow in them. So I'm going to have to clean my palette. I've actually written them on my thing here. Soft kind of greys and yellows and whatnot, pale blues. I've done a sort of drawing because it feels like if you can't snap it, it's gone. So I'm hoping I'm going to have a quick TC2 and then have a go at that. Oh, fiddlesticks. I think I've lost it. I've got loads of grey, brown, sludgy paint everywhere. And I've just made a decision to simplify my picture and it's gone horribly. I've lost it, guys. Okay, what am I going to do? Let's get a little plan here. Right, I think I'm going to try and paint the sky. And if the sky works, I can rescue the foreground. And if the sky doesn't work, we're going home. Baby. Oh, anyone who thinks that being an artist is a DOS, get their cheeky selves up here, because I tell you what, it's freezing, my fingers are like blocks of ice, I've got paint everywhere, I'm running out of rags, and I've got to go and do the school run in about 30 minutes. Happy days. It's a bit of a mess, but I do think there's something there that I think getting the sky in there was a good call. I think that's been quite a tough afternoon, really, but I'm not dissatisfied with the painting. There were lots of bits I enjoyed. I really pushed myself today. You know, partly it's having impetus to be making these videos, is that it's a lot more interesting, I think, to be painting outdoors and facing the elements and having a challenge than it is to be stuck in a studio painting from a photograph, which is not... It's not great watching, is it? Let's be honest. So it's 3:30 and I'm going home now. It's nearly dark and I struggle a bit this time of year because, you know, such a long night. But I'm reading this book at the moment. I just thought I'd read you this because it's so magical. I'm reading Virginia Woolf's first novel called The Voyage Out. And she says, the nights were black bars separating her from the days. She would have liked to run all the days into one long continuity of sensation. And I just think that's magical, and I think it really sums up the craving at this time of year to squeeze everything out of the day because we're so limited and it's so restricted with the coming of the night. But on that note, happy winter solstice, happy Christmas, see you in 2024. Goodbye.